I got a video he sent me back in 2000 and was it 20 or something? So I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with. Well, when I met him in July, and then after that, when you get to know a person, I knew her. So we met July 6th, actual court fight. Okay. Which is crazy. We've been together over a year and a half now. It'll be 2 years next year in September. These are gifts from my man, okay? This is what I gifted myself. Little bracelet, myself. I love having stuff that I ain't seen nobody wear before.
Obsessed much? Nothing is more unpredictable than a woman trying to outdo a wife she swears she doesn't think about, especially when a major fight looms. Yanni's focus should be locked on the bout, not outfits or accessories. So why, just days before a massive event, is she stepping out in a look almost identical to one the wife already wore?
Let me say something. I cannot be copied. What I do is original. The number one. Copy this. Copy this. Just stand straight and see if your ass make a pee. Talk to me. What we talking about?
That's not creative direction. It's confusion in plain sight. Let's dig into what's really happening here. People online are already deep in this topic, dropping comments and theories left and right. But this isn't just another wave of digital noise. We're examining it through a sharper, more focused lens. There are details slipping under the radar, and that's where things get interesting. This isn't about hate or harassment. It's about observation and recognizing patterns. Others may cross lines with their takes, but that's on them, not us. Once again, Claressa has thrown something into the internet spotlight for everyone to dissect. But this goes beyond celebrity chatter. It feels like behavioral evidence, a raw peek into how people act when pride, envy, and emotion collide. It's practically a case study unfolding in real time. And let's be honest about what we're really seeing here.
Claressa Shields wants y'all to know that she got a big old butt.
32, 33. That's the waist. And then we go around the butt. I'm gonna start from in the middle. Yeah, that ass fat, girl. Yeah, that's like 44. So I know I lost a couple inches because, let me go to the big part of the butt. Let me go down here. See, that's the part that go out the widest. Let's try that.
Girl, boo. It ain't finna change.
It did, because it's a different part of the butt. Yeah, so around my actual ass is a 45. So it's like 32, 33 up here. And then 44, 45. 44, then it gets bigger with the 45. So yeah, that's my measurements.
No one seemed shocked when she aimed that subtle response at Ray's team, even though they hadn't addressed her first. That quiet shade spoke volumes without a single word. If you missed what really went down, let's rewind for a second. I'll walk you through the full timeline. What sparked it, what was said, and how the response unfolded. This isn't just another round of messy internet drama. It's a closer look at how people act when ego and image take control. Around here, we don't just watch chaos. We break down the psychology behind every move. The moment things began to unfold, the internet locked in fast. What made it even messier were the timestamps. Real receipts with dates that can't be twisted. Months earlier, back in the summer, Remy was already wearing her signature Van Cleef jewelry, setting a tone that would later fuel speculation.
I might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but everybody's flooding my comment section talking about, well, how'd you catch Claressa Shields capping in 4K? This is how I caught Claressa Shields capping in 4K. Then you can get in the comments and issue me an apology, or you can just say, oh yeah, man. But Claressa Shields said that she likes jewelry that nobody else has got, and she's 100% sure nobody else has this here jewelry. I'm gonna see what the survey says, man. Now this is all receipts.
That's been her signature for years, part of her personal stamp, something instantly recognizable the moment she steps into a room. It's not just about clothes or jewelry. It's about presence, energy, and consistency. So when someone else suddenly appears mirroring that same aesthetic and aura, people are naturally going to notice. And they did. The reaction wasn't subtle either. It wasn't framed as inspiration. It was read as imitation. Whether that was the intention or not, perception is everything. And in this case, the perception leaned heavily in one direction. To be fair, what makes Remy stand out isn't just what she wears. It's how she wears it. There's an ease, a confidence, a kind of lived-in authenticity that can't be manufactured. It's the difference between putting on a look and embodying it. That distinction matters, especially in a world where audiences are constantly analyzing, comparing, and drawing conclusions in real time. Then came the Super Bowl moment, the one that amplified everything. Remy stepped out in a custom look that didn't just turn heads. It dominated the conversation. Every detail felt intentional yet effortless, like it wasn't trying to compete for attention, but naturally commanded it anyway. Her best friend, Guju, added fuel to the moment from the sidelines, loudly reminding everyone, "This is custom. You can't copy that." It was half joke, half statement, and people picked up on that immediately. Remy's reaction? A laugh. No defensiveness, no need to explain, just quiet confidence. That moment alone might have passed as just another viral highlight. But what came next is what kept the conversation alive. Shortly afterward, Claressa went online and addressed the situation, indirectly, but clearly enough for people to connect the dots. The timing raised eyebrows. Instead of shutting down speculation, it seemed to validate it. And that's where things started to shift. Because here's the thing about controlling a narrative. It only works when the audience hasn't already made up its mind. In this case, people had been watching, comparing, and forming opinions long before any statement was made. So when she spoke, it didn't feel like clarification, it felt like confirmation. And unfortunately, that kind of move rarely lands the way it's intended. What we're seeing starts to resemble a pattern, one where words attempt to reshape reality, but actions have already told a clearer story. It gives the impression of someone deeply invested in maintaining a certain image, even when that image is being questioned in real time. And the more effort that goes into controlling how things look, the more noticeable it becomes when something feels off. The irony in all of this is hard to ignore. Publicly, she positions herself as someone who doesn't chase or want what others have. But the narrative unfolding in front of people suggests otherwise. That contradiction didn't go unnoticed. In fact, it became one of the main talking points online. Especially when you factor in the relationship dynamic, being involved with someone who has a deeply established history with another woman automatically places everything under a microscope. And then came Valentine's Day, the moment that pushed everything into overdrive. By now, people already understood her brand. Visibility, presentation, and turning personal moments into shareable content. That's not inherently a problem. It's part of modern celebrity culture. But there's a fine line between sharing and staging, and that line started to blur significantly. Even her first engagement, the one with Tony Rich, had already set a precedent. It didn't feel private or intimate. It felt curated, designed, almost like a scene crafted for maximum audience engagement, rather than a genuine emotional milestone. That moment established a pattern that would later repeat itself in even bigger ways. So when Valentine's Day arrived, it didn't feel like a surprise. It felt like a continuation. The setup was elaborate. Dramatic visuals, luxury elements, and a level of production that resembled a commercial shoot more than a romantic gesture. Everything looked perfect, but that perfection is exactly what made people question it. Because real love, in its most authentic form, doesn't usually require that level of performance. It exists in quiet moments, in things that aren't always captured or shared. But what people saw here felt different. It felt like a response, not a reflection. And context matters. Just weeks earlier, everyone had seen where he spent Christmas, at home with his wife and family. That image contrasted sharply with the Valentine's display that followed. One felt grounded and real, the other felt amplified and performative. Whether intentional or not, the comparison was unavoidable. From a psychological standpoint, this kind of behavior often points to overcompensation. When someone feels uncertain about their position, they may try to reinforce it through visible, exaggerated gestures. The goal isn't just to experience something, it's to prove it, both to themselves and to others. That's what made the Valentine's moment feel less like romance and more like a statement. The helicopter, the decorations, the luxury, it all communicated effort but not necessarily emotion. It was grand, yes, but it also felt empty to many observers, like a show designed to compete rather than connect. And that's where the deeper issue comes into play: comparison. Because once a relationship starts being measured against another, it stops being about the people involved and starts becoming about perception. Who did it better? Who looks happier? Who appears more valued? Those questions don't build relationships, they erode them. Meanwhile, Remy and Pat's history continues to loom large over everything. Their relationship wasn't just private, it was documented, shared, and celebrated over time. Interviews, public appearances, social media moments. All of it contributed to a narrative that people became emotionally invested in. That kind of legacy doesn't just disappear. It lingers. It sets a standard, whether fair or not, for anyone who comes after. And stepping into that space means inevitably being compared to it. That's why the Valentine's display didn't resonate the way it might have in a different context. It wasn't judged on its own. It was measured against something that already existed in people's minds. And when something feels like it's trying to replace or outdo a memory, rather than create a new one, it rarely succeeds. Because here's the truth. You can't recreate history. You can't fast-track authenticity. And you definitely can't compete with years of genuine connection using a few highly produced moments. What makes this situation more complicated is that she doesn't lack the tools to build something meaningful on her own. She has the talent, the discipline, the platform, all the ingredients needed to create her own narrative. But instead of focusing on that, the energy appears to be directed toward comparison. And comparison is a trap. It creates a cycle that's hard to break. Imitation leads to criticism leads to response leads to more scrutiny, and the loop continues. Even visually, the parallels have become harder to ignore. The styling choices, the poses, the overall aesthetic. It's consistent enough that people have started to treat it as a pattern rather than coincidence. And once something is labeled as a pattern, every new instance reinforces that perception. At a certain point, it stops being about intention and starts being about impact. There's also another layer to this, the constant emphasis on appearance. When every post, every moment, every presentation feels like it's trying to prove something, it shifts the focus. Instead of highlighting achievements or personality, the narrative becomes centered on validation. And that's where things begin to wear thin for an audience. Because confidence doesn't usually announce itself repeatedly, it shows. It's felt. When someone constantly insists they're winning, it can start to sound less like assurance and more like persuasion. That doesn't mean the accomplishments aren't real, they absolutely are. Her success, her discipline, her career, none of that is in question. But when the spotlight shifts from those strengths to the need for approval, it changes how people engage with her overall image. And that's the real risk here. Not criticism, not competition, but perception. Because once people begin to see someone differently, not as confident but as competing, it alters everything. And those shifts don't happen overnight. They build gradually, through repeated moments that feel slightly off until they form a larger picture. Right now, that picture is becoming harder to ignore. The tone surrounding everything feels inconsistent, sometimes confident, sometimes reactive, sometimes overly curated. And that inconsistency is what creates confusion. Which brings us to the bigger question. Is all of this intentional? Is this a calculated strategy designed to keep people talking? Or is it something less controlled? An emotional response playing out in public, amplified by an audience that's constantly watching and reacting? Because those are two very different scenarios. If it's strategy, then every move is deliberate, designed to generate attention and maintain relevance. But if it's not, if it's reactive, then it suggests something else entirely. It suggests that the narrative isn't being controlled as much as it appears. And that's where things get even more interesting. Because behind every public image, there's always a private influence. Whether it's management, relationships, or internal pressure, something shapes the decisions that people eventually see. The question is, what or who is shaping this one? At this point, the situation has moved far beyond outfits, events, or isolated moments. It's become a full narrative, one that people are actively following, analyzing, and debating in real time. And like any unfolding story, it's still evolving. The only difference is that this one isn't playing out behind closed doors. It's happening in public, piece by piece, post by post, moment by moment, where every detail is captured, compared, and remembered. Which means whatever comes next won't just add to the story. It might redefine it entirely.